Hi, I'm Marcy McNeil with your MCPSS Tech News. And today we will learn about a new educational podcast featuring one of our teachers. And then we'll introduce you to one of our hard-working IT employees. And finally, we'll learn something new from Timmy the Tech. Stay tuned. We are here with Dr. Joe Gaston and Miss Julie Neihart, and they are the co-hosts of a new educational podcast called Next in Ed. And Joe, can you tell us a little bit about the podcast and how it got started?
Sure, thanks, Marcy. Actually, it kind of started with you, to be honest. You reached out to me a while back, and this was an idea that we had had for a while, but you said that there was a space there at central office that was going to be converted into a studio, and you were hoping maybe part of it could become a podcast studio. So we threw around some ideas and thought maybe something that looked at kind of where we are with education right now and where it might be going would be an interesting topic for people. And so then we reached out to Julie Neihart to see if she'd like to join us. And fortunately, she said yes. So thank you for that, Julie.
You're welcome.
And actually, we planned on starting this podcast series this fall, was to interview people over the summer and then release the series this fall. But back in March, when the pandemic hit, we felt like we needed to capture what was happening. There was some big changes taking place in the education world, and we thought that would be a perfect time to launch. So we launched our first episode back in April, and we've been releasing new episodes every Tuesday since then.
Yes, it's been so much fun. And Julie, kind of give us an idea, what are the sort of topics that's next in ed that you look for and some of the guests that you invite?
Yeah, I have had a great time. This has been such a great team to work with. We have interviewed so many different people from all different backgrounds. We've interviewed people from international places, from the Dominican Republic, from Mexico. We have interviewed people that are not even in education, but are affiliated or impact education in some way. Like we've interviewed Dr. Neil Lamb, also he's from Hudson Alpha, and we've interviewed local people. We've interviewed school teachers from Mobile County. We've interviewed professors from the University of South Alabama, and just a variety of interesting people with some really great stories.
Wonderful stories. So Joe, just to conclude, how can everyone catch this great podcast and subscribe?
Well, that's a great question. I'm happy to answer that. So we have got this podcast set up through Anchor, but really you can access this podcast through any of the major platforms. So this joint venture between the Mobile County Public School System's IT department and my department at South Alabama, the Counseling and Instructional Sciences, has made sure it's available through Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. You can get it on Spotify, and I'm sure there's more platforms to come in the future. So right now, pretty much anywhere you like to listen to your podcast, you can find us.
And be sure to follow us on Facebook, because we always have each guest do a little preview, and you can see Joe and Julie in action. So thank you to both of you for joining us today, and happy podcasting.
Thank you, Marcy.
Absolutely. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Hi, my name is Ron Spencer. I'm new here to MCPSS. I'm IT Tech Support Technician. I'm from Mobile originally. I'm a Viger High School graduate. All the way back in the original days with, working with Apple computers, working with the old Commodore 64s. Back, people won't even know what those are, but this time. But always got hooked into computers. Never really took it to its, to this end. I was always doing more administrative work and decided to get more on the technical side, but always been fascinated with technology. I have been doing IT asset management in San Diego for about 10, 12 years before the big crash. But I always wanted to go back to school after that happened, and I went back for cybersecurity, and that's what my passion was. And like I said, it was real lucky for me to want to come back home and find a job here at the same time.
Timmy's tech tip today is, it's better to use Ethernet than Wi-Fi when doing a live stream for your class. Wi-Fi can be disrupted by different factors in the house. Even something like a microwave can disrupt your signal. But Ethernet is going to be stronger and more reliable for your signal.
Thanks for joining us at MCPSS Tech News. To learn more, follow us on any of your favorite social media platforms at MCPSS Tech.